Everyone. My name is Atharva Varade. My roll number is P420. Today I am going to present my topic Map Reduce Architecture and Hadoop Programming. These will be the contents of my presentations. So let's get started. Map Reduce Architecture. So MapReduce architecture is a framework which is written and developed in Java. So it consists of major two phases. First is map and reduce, as the name suggests. So in the mapping step, the data is split between parallel processing tasks. So parallel processing task means here the it is mandatory that the distributed file system should be used, and Hadoop provides its own distributed file system, that is HDFS. So MapReduce is one of the component of Hadoop ecosystem. Hadoop ecosystem consists of three components. The first one is MapReduce architecture, second one is HDFS, and third is YARN. Okay, so we will see the MapReduce architecture. MapReduce architecture. Okay. So this is the MapReduce architecture. There is a client. Client is someone who makes a request for some data, some sort of data. Then that task becomes a job. So there is a Hadoop MapReduce master. So there is a master who and there is a slave. So master, the slave is called as the task tracker. So master is someone who keeps an eye on the tracker, and task tracker is someone who actually do the work. So there are two types of functions. The first one is map, and next one is reduce. So these were the two scientists working in Google. So they thought about this map reduce architecture based on the problems which were being facing by them. So they were the actual developers. Let's see the components of MapReduce architecture. So there is a client job, as I said, there is map reduce master, there is job parts, input part, and output part. Client is someone who brings the job to MapReduce for processing. There can be multiple jobs. Okay. Then job is actual work that client wanted to do, which is comprised of so many smaller tasks. So what are these small tasks, we will see later. So Hadoop map reduce master. It is the particular job into subsequent job parts. Then job parts. Okay, so job parts are obtained after dividing the main job. The result of the all job parts combined to produce a final output. Then input data and the output data. So basically, MapReduce is divided into two phases. First one is map and reduce. Map is something that is when you get the certain query, that query is or in a data, it is divided into several parts, and several parts are divided into key and value pair. So this dividing and mapping, all these things comes under the map phase. Then next phase is reduce function or reduce phase. Phase comes with the two subcomponents, that is shuffled and then reduce. Shuffled means we gather the similar data from the different chunks, and we shuffle them, and we arrange them in a single block, we can say. So that is the reduce phase. Then there are, as I said, there are two components, that are job tracker and task tracker. So job tracker is nothing but it is the boss as in the organization, and task tracker is someone as a employee who actually does the work. So job tracker keeps an eye on the task tracker, and task tracker actually performs the work. This is the very good example of MapReduce architecture. So there is an input. This is an apple, and apple is red in color. Actually, this example is from the reference paper which was written by those two scientists which were working in the Google, which were the developers of MapReduce and Hadoop. So this input is divided into two parts. That is, this is an apple, and this apple is in red color. So this reduce this dividing process continues until we get a unit part. So unit is a single word. So this is an apple. Each word occurs one time. Here is also apple is red in color. Each word occurs one time. Okay, then shuffling. This shuffling and reduce. These two stages comes under the reduce part. So shuffling, we combines the word from the different two chunks. From these two chunks, we combine the results such as is, then apple, and we count. So this occurs one time, is occurs two times, such as apple occurs two times. Then all these are combined in single chunk. So this is MapReduce architecture works. So MapReduce architecture actually reduce the time complexity. It helps in searching a certain query which the client demands. There is a real life example for this. This is the applied to the problem such as analyzing metadata information of millions of YouTube videos to find those videos that have certain number of likes. If we say that find out the YouTube videos that have likes more than 5,000 regarding any single channel. So it is very difficult to find out linearly. So there should be a mechanism which can process the data parallelly. So in this in this way, the MapReduce will be helpful for dealing such queries. Then Hadoop. Hadoop is basically a framework that of open source set of tools distributed under Apache license. So it was developed by Apache. Then understanding the big data with five V's. As we know, there are five V's of big data, that is volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. So as we know that the data is rapidly increasing with the volume, and the data which is increasing with the certain velocity, that's the velocity, and it has a certain varied data, that is structured, unstructured, semi-structured. So these are the variety of the data. There is a specific veracity to the data, and there is specific value to the data. So these five V's actually defines how the big data is in the field. The evolution of Hadoop. So Hadoop was inspired by Google, as those both scientists were the inspiration. Uh, then Hadoop distributed file system (HDFS) process this data with the technology of MapReduce. These are three components, as I earlier said: HDFS, MapReduce, and Yarn. These are actual components of Hadoop ecosystem. So as we discussed MapReduce, HDFS is nothing but distributed file system, like other file system that we have, NTFS, new technology file system that we commonly have in our Windows system. HDFS is the similar kind of file system. Then it enables data to be stored in multiple nodes. Yeah, we have said there are two concepts in HDFS, that is name node and data node. We will see them later in the later slides. Then YAN. YAN stands for yet another resource negotiator. It is dedicated operating system for Hadoop, which manages the resource of the cluster and also functions as a framework for job scheduling Hadoop. So we will see it in the next slides. HDFS. Okay. So HDFS, Hadoop Distributed File System. It's a primary storage system used by Hadoop applications. This open source framework works rapidly transferring data between nodes. Okay. So as I said, there is a name node and there are the data nodes. So in the name nodes, there is the metadata, that is name, replicas. Okay, and in the data nodes, there is the actual data which the client requires. So these data nodes can be tracked with the help of name node. So name node contains the addresses, the key, actual keys to these data nodes. Data nodes contains the values. So this is how the data is stored in HDFS format, in the key value form of format. Then there is yarn. Yarn, as I said, that is yet another resource negotiator. So as I said, there is the parallel processing system. So there is the need of scheduling system. So yarn is the something that actually schedules the resources, as resources are the thing that are very necessary in processing the data. So it is described as a redesigned resource manager at the time of launching, but it has now evolved to be known as large-scale distributed operating system, which is used for big data processing. So yarn is very beneficial for the big data processing. Then yarn allows different data processing engines like graph processing, interactive processing, stream processing, etc. Then these are some resources or references. So first one is the research paper that was published by Dean J and Khemawat S. So these were the two scientists of Google company. These are the two scientists. So they published this paper, and this paper is basically based on map-reduce architecture in the Hadoop programming. So it is very uh, informative. Then these are three links that I used to learn about these two technologies. Thank you.